For over 40 years, Voyager 2 has sailed through the deep, silent blackness of space, far beyond the last planets, past the icy edge of our solar system, into a realm humanity once called empty. Launched in the late 1970s, this spacecraft was never meant to last this long. It was a whisper from Earth, a ghostly emissary drifting into the dark. Many believed it would eventually fall quiet, swallowed by the static of the cosmos. But then, something unexpected happened. When Voyager 2 crossed the heliopause, the invisible frontier where the sun's influence ends and true interstellar space begins, scientists expected a gentle shift. A slow fade, like stepping from dusk into night. What Voyager found was anything but gentle. In an instant, everything changed. Radiation levels spiked by more than 70%. Plasma density surged. Magnetic fields twisted sharply. It was as if the spacecraft had pierced a membrane, a sudden, absolute boundary. One moment it was inside the sun's protective bubble. The next, it was somewhere else entirely. And what shocked scientists most wasn't just that the boundary existed, it was how precise it was. For decades, the heliosphere, the bubble created by the solar wind and the sun's magnetic field, was thought to gradually blend into the galaxy. But Voyager's readings showed a clear, shield-like structure. A wall. A veil. A line drawn in space. Inside it, radiation is filtered, space is calmer, and Earth is protected. Outside? Chaos. As Voyager 2 moved beyond the heliosphere, it entered a region of high-energy storms, magnetic turbulence, and unpredictable cosmic rays. The solar system, once seen as a lonely island in space, suddenly looked like a fortress, and stepping beyond its walls was not just exploration. It was exposure. Even more unsettling, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 crossed this boundary at different distances. Not randomly, but in rhythm with the sun's 11-year cycle. The heliosphere breathes, expanding, contracting, warping into a comet-like shape as solar activity changes. Earth's shield, it turns out, is alive. And it can fail. In 2019, Voyager 2 went dark for a few hours. No data. No signal. No explanation. Then, it came back. Rebooted. Alive. Engineers blamed aging hardware, but buried in the data were strange magnetic surges and unexplained radiation spikes. Had the spacecraft passed through something more? Some suggested a dense pocket of plasma, a ripple from a long-dead supernova, or a shock wave echoing from the galaxy's distant past. Others whispered of something stranger, a layer, a zone, a structure so alien to our models that it couldn't even be predicted. And then came the patterns. Not random bursts. Not noise. But waves. Rhythms. Fluctuations that seemed to pulse like a kind of interstellar weather. Currents. Tides. Surges of energy aligned with distant galactic phenomena, not our sun. It was as if Voyager had entered an ocean we didn't know existed. But perhaps the most baffling discovery was this: the magnetic field of our sun, and the one beyond, the galactic field, were almost perfectly aligned. A smooth transition where turbulence was expected. It was too clean. Too coordinated. Had the galaxy shaped itself around the sun's reach? Or had the sun emerged in a pocket of space already magnetically tuned to it? Either answer challenges everything we thought we knew. Some scientists now wonder, is the edge of our solar system just a boundary? Or is it something more? A checkpoint? A threshold? If the heliopause is reactive, if it changes shape, aligns itself, responds to pressure, then maybe it's not just a border. Maybe it records what passes through. Not intelligent. Not alive. But structured. Designed by forces we don't yet understand. And here's where it attached to Voyager 2 is something almost poetic in its ambition, the golden record. A meticulously crafted disk of gold and copper alloy, it carries more than just data. It carries intention. Etched into its surface are greetings in dozens of human languages, the sound of a baby's cry, the gentle rush of wind through trees, waves crashing on a distant beach. There is laughter. Music from Bach to Blind Willie Johnson. Mathematical symbols and star maps. It is, in every sense, a portrait of Earth, a time capsule of who we were when we first reached for the stars. A small, golden whisper cast into the cosmic ocean. It was never meant to return. It was never meant to be answered. It was meant to be a gesture of peace, a gift to the unknown, offered not out of fear, but wonder. An open hand extended to the dark. But that was before we knew what lay beyond the sun. Because now, after Voyager 2 crossed the heliopause, the invisible line where the sun's influence ends and true interstellar space begins, that beautiful gesture has begun to feel different. More vulnerable. More reckless. Maybe even dangerous. Because if the edge of the solar system isn't a soft fade into emptiness, if it's not just a passive boundary but a barrier, then the golden record isn't simply a greeting. It's a signal. A flare. A map to everything we are. We didn't just say, hello, we gave directions. We revealed our location, our biology, the mechanics of our languages, the fundamentals of our chemistry, the path of our solar system, the nature of our planet, and even how to decode the very message we sent. We gave away the blueprint of our species, and flung it across a boundary we didn't yet comprehend. A boundary we now know is not just spatial. It is structural. Reactive. Perhaps even deliberate. Because Voyager didn't pass gently into interstellar space. It pierced it, like stepping through a membrane under pressure. One moment, it was within the sun's protective bubble, a vast sphere of magnetic field and solar wind that shields us from much of the galaxy's violent radiation. The next, it was outside. And the change was instantaneous. Radiation spiked. Plasma density jumped. Magnetic fields twisted and realigned. The shift wasn't gradual, it was abrupt, as if Voyager had crossed not just into a new region, but into a new regime of physics. A regime with rules we barely understand. Suddenly, we saw the solar system not as a drifting island but as a fortress. Not isolated but protected. Not alone but sheltered from something. And outside that shelter? A storm. A cosmic tempest of radiation, magnetism, and pressure. A churning, unpredictable sea filled with energetic particles and invisible forces, shaped not only by distant stars but by ancient events, supernovae, stellar winds, galactic fields that stretch across light years. And in that storm, Voyager 2 is now exposed. It was never designed to face such forces. It is a machine from another era, powered by decaying plutonium and wrapped in decades-old engineering. And yet, it endures, floating through the unknown. And trailing behind it? A glowing gold disk, with our name on it. We once saw the golden record as an emblem of optimism. Now, it resembles a beacon, one that shines not in light but in information. An unfiltered broadcast of our existence, cutting through the shadows. And the question no longer is whether something might find it. The question is, what if something already has? Because what Voyager 2 discovered at the edge of the sun's domain isn't just science. It's geometry. Alignment. Pattern. The magnetic field of our star, perfectly aligned with the interstellar field beyond. Not clashing, not twisting, synchronized. as though the space we're entering was already aware of the sun's reach. Was this region shaped by us over time, slowly bent by the solar wind over billions of years? Or was it always this way? What if our sun, our system, our bubble, exists within a larger pattern? A galactic structure that isn't random at all, but engineered by physics we haven't yet uncovered? And if so, who else exists within it? We launched Voyager 2 as a scientific instrument. But what if it became something else? Not a probe, but a notification. The heliosphere may be more than a shell, it may be a threshold. A zone that tracks what comes and goes. A checkpoint. A lens. A place where energy changes and where motion is noticed. Crossing it might have meant more than leaving home. It might have meant entering the galaxy proper, not as a silent traveler, but as a declared one. And perhaps that's why the golden record matters now more than ever. Because its presence is no longer symbolic. It's tactical. It is the most detailed self-description humanity has ever created, and we attached it to the first object to pierce the cosmic boundary.